everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Copic markers. I have a ton of them and I hardly ever use them. Today I'm going to change that because every now and then I'll get an image and I'll think to myself, Cathy, if you keep it simple, you're going to be fine. And that is my hot tip with Copic coloring. Keep it simple. You do not have to be a master to create really well-colored, but very simply colored images. So, got a cute little card project to share with you doing just that. That card is coming up next. Here's a look at the card project I'll be creating today, and you can see it's very simple coloring, but you know, I'm proud of myself for busting out a few Copics and putting some of them to use. Let's take a look at the products for this card project. Here's an adorable stamp called Favorite Somebunny. This is a really cute set of bunnies and bears and greetings, and there are coordinating dies that you can purchase. I'll be stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black, and I've got just a few Copic markers, right? Keeping it really simple. But I'm also going to be using this new stencil from My Favorite Things just to add a little graphic touch to this card project. It's kind of a cool, edgy design. I've got one color of pink ink and a brush from Gina K Designs to add that color. But we'll get started with stamping. I've just got a little strip here of Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. And again, I'll be using the Memento because it's Copic friendly. You can use this with alcohol inks. I'll ink up my cute bunny and little bear and go ahead and stamp them down. I use this stamp press tool. This is called a Debbie tool. And it just helps me to keep sort of a neutral position with my wrists. I have wrist pain, and this really helps when it comes to stamping. First impression looks good, and I'll ink it up one more time and stamp it again. Beauty of that Misty tool, right in the same position, and I have a perfectly inked impression. So let's get into the coloring. The thing is, with me and Copics, I don't use them a lot. I got into this thing where I started building my collection and just realized I'm not that confident. One of the things that I've done though is replace some of my chisel nibs with this fine tip nib because it actually helps me get in and color with more confidence and not feel like I'm always going out of the lines. Now, as I was coloring my bunnies with my W0, my warm gray number 0, it was drying up and I thought, what is going on? Well, the reason it's drying up, it was one of the first few markers that I purchased back in 2017 when I first started acquiring my Copics. I stuck with warm grays and pinks for, I don't know, probably the first several months that I was making cards and trying to color because I knew if I stick with just warm grays and pinks, I'll probably be okay. I think I did a lot of like elephants. In fact, I will throw up a card in the upper right to show you one of the very first gray little images I colored. It was an elephant with a grad cap, and you'll get the idea. And please remember, I've improved in my video quality since then, but it's true. I've been using these colors for a while because these are the ones I'm confident with. And I think when you're using alcohol markers, you kind of will gravitate towards what you're comfortable with unless you are some kind of hidden artist, right? Some kind of Picasso just waiting to happen. That is not me with the Copic markers. So let's stick with what I know. I decided on this guy, we're just going to come in and make the bear W1 because the W00 was a little too light and I just wanted them to have a simple bit of visual connection between the two, right? Gray bunny, gray bear, not trying to write a creative check that my body can't cash. And that's kind of my MO with Copics. But I knew I could come in with these pinks and, you know, add color. I made some swatches for my Copics and it does help. Like it helps me to know what marker looks like what, but honestly, I never remember. And that's part of why I think that I avoid them because I always have to go through the, all right, which one works and is this gonna work? And I think if you use them more, right, maybe you get more confidence and you know what to grab right away. But I feel like I don't. And so again, I avoid them. But here's a little tip, and I love doing this. If you don't know what pinks to blend together, you can always color it in once and then go back over an area with the same marker to create a little bit of shadow and depth, right? I'm kind of getting all the shadows here on the left side. Is that the left? Yeah, the left side of the bunny. You can do that, and that way you don't have to worry about what blends together. And I actually do this quite often when I'm using Copics. If I'm only sticking with single colors, I will just put that first color down and then take that same color and create a little bit of a shadow. Pretty easy to do that. It's kind of hard to mess that up. It's easier to mess it up when you try to blend in some other color, so honestly, most of the time, I don't even try. But I know how to add a little cheek color there. Isn't that cute? Little pink cheeks. And I was going to add the little circles to his face, and then I thought that looks weird. Looks like he has some kind of a rash, so I decided just to make his whole little muzzle pink and then add in the pink cheeks. And that's it. Nothing award-winning here, but it's simple and effective, right? So I'm cutting them out with the coordinating dies. They're real easy to line up. Pop out a little bear, and always be careful if you use any kind of low-tack tape because it still can tear your paper. So I don't want to mess up the magic here. And there you go. Little bunny, little bear, ready for my card. Next, I'm going to take a panel of Neenah Solar White, again, the classic Crest in the 110-pound weight, and I'm going to take the Dusty Rose from Gina K, and all I'm going to do is just add a little blend of color across the center of the card. Now, I think this is supposed to mimic like the edge of maybe like a painted edge or something like that, but it's just kind of a cool graphic look. And just by turning the stencil and tilting it, you can create sort of this cool overlap of color. And you can just do it with one color ink, right? You don't need to, again, keep it simple. I know this color of ink is going to work great with the Copic coloring that I've done. And so I'm going to blend on the other side because I also wanted that fade, that soft fade to come off both sides of this pattern, right? So I've got that little bit of trapped white in there, and all I'm going to do is just lightly blend over that so the whole thing appears nice and soft and pink. It's just a graphic effect. I think it's kind of cool. And then here's my general arrangement. So I'm going to cut this down just a little bit with one of my favorite layer dies from Waffle Flower Crafts. And once that's cut, I'll position the bunny and the bear again, and then figure out the placement of my greeting, "You're the teddy bear," to my snuggle bunny, which I think is kind of adorable. All right, I'll make sure that's pushed into the corner, get the bunny and the bear out of the way. I've inked it up, again, just with the Memento Tuxedo Black. Put a little pressure on there, not too much, and I decided to ink it up one more time. And then again, bring the Misty Door down and stamp. I never press too hard with the greetings though because I don't want to smudge. I got a little smudgy there on the G, but you know what? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. My card today will be a USA 2 top folding, so that's 4 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches tall. Give that a nice press down. And I've got foam tape on the back of my panel. I'll just pop that right up on the card with that nice little bit of white space framing the entire card. I've got thin foam squares on the back of both the bunny. Well, actually, no, the bunny has the thin foam squares. And then I put a regular depth foam square on the bear so that he could float just a little bit above the bunny, just like this. And I wanted it to look like he was holding on to the bunny's foot. Isn't that cute? It's really simple, right? But that cool background just sort of grounds these elements. And boop, you know what it's time for now? A little shine. Boop. 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 Now this one, see if you don't boop properly, sometimes. Boop. There we go. It doesn't stick. I think it works. I don't know. Is it just me? But anyway, that is my simply colored finished card project. That, my friends, is very, very simple coloring. It's funny because when I first started purchasing Copics, I purchased warm gray markers and pink. And I feel like because that's where I started, I keep going back to those. So when I have an image like a bunny or an elephant, I kind of know what to do. Thanks so much for watching. All the links can be found below the video, and I'll see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.